Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, we're live.
Meeting is being live streamed.
There we go. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Max and in the Access Consciousness Italian group talking about Symphony of Money and the Castle, which happens to be in Italy. So, yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes. So what's going on? So it's spring, and what better season to have a taster introducing the symphony live class in a beautiful, nurturing, pampering space, which is the Castle of Casal Borgone. And so I'm really actually curious because you facilitated many introduction of introducing the symphony all over the world.
Yeah. Amazing. I've facilitated a few so far. Incredible, actually. Oh, what do I say? It's like
Well, you facilitated
speechless.
well, you facilitated them all over the world. I saw a picture from Taipei. Is that so?
Taipei, yeah, in Taiwan. So there was about 35 people that took the class there. Now, the beauty of introducing the symphony class is that it's like anyone can do it that's done a foundation class. So that's the prerequisite. So they may never have done any Symphony of Possibilities class, ESB class, any of those classes with Dane. But people are so ready and willing to go to that energy. It's like so much of a possibility now. And so let me, like, for those of you guys who have no idea what the symphony energies are, what SOP is, which is the Symphony of Possibilities, a class that Dr. Dane here facilitates. It's like a 4-day class where you get to work on people energetically in a way that's sort of like, it looks like hands off the bodies. And what it is, it's being, like facilitating change from your being. So what you're willing to be changes somebody's universe, changes the universe, changes your universe. And you just never know what's going to show up because everybody's so different. If you're willing to be with somebody, like from more space and more question than anybody has been with them in their life, something is bound to change. And like when you have no projection, no expectation, no result in mind, like you don't have to prove anything. It's like, I can sort of, the interesting thing is with introducing the symphony is I can point to all these things that it's not. And then you have to find out what it is for you, because everybody, how it is for everybody. Chiara's done a whole bunch of symphony classes as well. And you're a maestro too, right?
Yeah, not this year, but yes, I've been for.
Yeah. So Chiara knows these energies really well. And it's, even you can't, for any session, you can't come in with any expectation or projection because that will limit the session and what it can be. So it's really this thing of being the question to a degree where anything is possible.
You know, one thing that I was looking at while you were speaking out on how undefinable it is that sometimes people come to an access like bars or body process or facelift session with a bit of projection on because it kind of ties them to something that they can fix or transform, let's say facelift or body process or bars, even just for relaxing. And the Symphony of Possibility, it's like she's not taking it. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to be defined by anything. It's going to be Symphony of Possibility, you know, take it or leave. And then, but there is this really tangible, like holding the space that happen where there is like a lot of action, but there is a lot of space that you kind of tickle into other people's universe, and it's like, hey, you can change anything you like, or you can turn up the volume into any area of your life. I'm not involved in the result, but I'm intensely being present with whatever it is. And actually, I'm super curious because I want everyone to know that this class is called Introducing the Symphony of Money.
Yeah.
So
it's actually happening on one of the afternoons of the Right Riches for You facilitators training that's happening with Shannon O'Hara, David Kubes, and Simone Melissus at the castle. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of people who are taking that class and bringing the energy of that class. And what I'd love to, without expectation, but I would love to sort of facilitate with this class is like, what more energies can we be with money? Like the caring for ourselves, the caring for possibilities, for future, for creation. And to have that, and at the castle as well, which is this
Yes.
beautiful, elegant, amazing place that Gary Douglas and Dane here and a bunch of investors have created. And it's like, me and Kiara have been there a bunch of times. It's something else. And it's alive. It's like the castle is a being in itself. And then there's all the little things that are in the castle, like all of the antiques and stuff that are being, and adding then, or combining all of that with those symphony energies, the right riches, is like, I'm so excited for this class and what's possible. From that space of no expectation, it's because you can sense possibilities. And it doesn't mean you're doing expectation, but when you're looking for a result, it's got to be this, or it's, we have to something, like that's an expectation and projection. But when you have the joy and the enthusiasm, when you sense that about something, that's like a really different energy. And that's something that is creative as well.
It's phenomenal that we get to be in the midst of a super advanced class with this like buzz and energy that gets for sure transmitted. And it kind of, I think that it exudes into the castle, and the castle itself, as you were mentioning, is this buzzing, ever-changing, contributing, generous, nurturing, hedonistic. It's like really, I don't know, I feel like the castle is a seeker of possibility because it's moving all the time. You would think at an historic building as a building that is somehow, that's it. But the castle is not, like, it's just this buzzing being that changes a lot, like all the time, even though it's a castle. And some of us can relate, quote unquote, to our houses, and we're like, more or less, this is the bedroom, this is the living room.
Right. It's solid and it stays the same.
It's kind of there. But there is this ever change. It's like this mutant being that changes all the time. And you were mentioning that we both have been to the castle a few times, and I was looking, I've been there a couple of weeks ago, on how the two like mother trees that are in front of the castle change their posture, like their the way the branches goes, and how they occupy more space, which is amazing because it's like they have hundreds of years. So you would think that a 100 plus years tree is stuck the way it is, but it's not. And it's like, it's interesting because this castle had several energies contributing to it. It is based on a question rather than a conclusion.
And the joy of living and having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it feels almost arrogant to say the joy of having. I went back to like this symphony of money, which is so different than the symphony with money, because with money it feels like there is a separation already.
Yeah.
But it's the symphony of possibility of money. Like it's really welcoming already. The title that you chose is already like, yes.
Yeah. It's really this energy of like, what if we were money? And that's what I'd really love to play with in this introducing the symphony class, is being the energy of money and everything that is. Because money we tend to use as like the first thing. If you have money, then you have choice. But it's actually completely the other way around. Like, if you're willing to choose, you will have money. So it's playing with these energies of like, if you're willing to choose, what would you like to ask for? What can you create? What is possible? And then even facilitating that with somebody else and receiving it from somebody else. And that's why this is called the symphony, is because it's really like you're a player, you're one of the maestros in this whole field of possibilities that includes all of these, like the different people, the energies, the elements, those possibilities. And that's why Dane here called it a symphony, because it literally is like, and you can have an orchestra, that sounds horrible. They're all a bit out of tune and so forth. And you can tune it, you can be with it, you can really listen, you can go more subtle, more subtle, more subtle, and adjust that symphony to something greater. And that's just by being you. And the more we're willing to be, the more we can impact. And what can you bring into your life from this as well? So I'd love to actually do something with everybody that's watching the live at the moment, whether it's now or into the future.
Yay.
So you guys can take something of this energy into your life as well and explore with it, play with it, and see what shows up. Because if you've never heard of this sort of thing, or it's totally cool, try it. Try a couple of these bits that we'll get to in a second, and see what shows up. See if the energy shifts in your life or around a particular topic. Because being is sort of like, everyone's like, well, what is that? So here's sort of one route, a couple of things we can do to get there. So if you lower all of your energetic walls and barriers, so anywhere where you've sort of like, you're on alert, or we all have these different things. So if you just lower all of that right down, let it melt into the ground, push it down, whatever you need to do. Doesn't matter if they're your barriers or somebody else's, because there's a good chance you're perceiving other people's barriers as well. Lower all those down and expand out in all directions, including down into the earth. And notice if you already sense being, okay? Like the relaxation beyond the mind, any thinking, any presumptive realities. Notice the being that's there all of the time. Now, what would you like to ask for? Would you like to ask for having more ease with money? Would you like to ask for having more trees in your life? Would you like to ask for having greater relationships with your children, your partner, your family, some friends? What is it that you'd like to ask for? Like, start just with one thing. Cool. And ask for something different or greater with that. Now, if you take like 1, 2, or 5 minutes a day, which is very little time, right? And connect with that energy again, literally just lowering your walls and barriers, expanding out in all directions, connecting with that one energy that you're asking for, that one change, not with a result in mind, like we mentioned beforehand. I know sometimes it's tricky, but no result in mind, just the question to ask. What would it take for this to be different? And then in 2 weeks, I'd love for you to look back and see if anything's different in that particular area in your life. And this is creating change through being. This is the beginning. It's a taste.
Oh my gosh. When you said lower the barriers, and I mean, I have all those tools too. I use them also, but it's amazing how, like, being in a group, even though we're the two of us talking right now, so you just see two people on the screen. But like being in a like group setting with all the people that are watching us right now, and you inviting us to lower our barriers, which we might have done 5 minutes ago, but still, there is this sense of the universe having our back through your voice in a way. And to me personally, it was like really touching. It was like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do that, And there was this like, oh yeah, every moment is a good moment to lower your barriers and expand out.
Yeah.
And everywhere you put your attention, that things cannot help but grow. And I love what you were saying about, like, circle back, check back in 2 weeks and look how it's going. And oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it is, yeah, it is for sure changing something, because
And that thing about in 2 weeks' time, like, it's the acknowledgement. If you would like more of something, if you acknowledge what changes, and then also acknowledge if you're exercising this every day, just for that tiny bit of time and space, when something changes and you acknowledge that, it becomes even greater.
Mm.
If you don't acknowledge it and you sort of let it all sort of wishy-washy and fade away and that sort of stuff, then you can't really exponentialize that change and that having, and then like, what else would you like to ask for? And that's that life creation element with the symphony. And thanks for that feedback too, Chiara, because we're both access consciousness facilitators. And for me, it's the same thing. Like when somebody else is facilitating the process, it's the invitation. Like we are connected in that symphony, and just someone being an energy can then facilitate you. There's no levels of access consciousness facilitators and so forth. It's just the choices that we're willing to make, what we're willing to receive, and what we would like to create. So there's like so much possibility. I really love that.
I love what you were saying when you were talking about like the symphony, because when you were talking before, the energy of a team popped up for me. So like people cheering at the match, and even though they don't play, they are not in tune, and everybody's going with a different vibe. There is this energy of like cheering along and empowering and encouraging your team, and just I don't know, shouting for the goals, etc. And now, as you were like inviting us and gave us this taster, there was this energy of like kindness without as many words, not with the maybe exuberance energy, but with the spacious, kind, having your back, silent energy. That is also that is also an orchestra of energy playing into your life, that are like, hey, there is the exuberance, there is a da da da, and there is also this like nurturing, like I don't know, it feels like getting like a chicken and be well, I don't know if it's poetic, but a duckling, and be like, oh, here, and putting them in a soft spot or stuff like that, like this accompanying.
There's like infinite energies of being available, and like we all have these capacities and these sort of superpowers in our own way. I've been told that I'm good with animals and small children. So and Dane is incredible at like chaos and with this incredible kindness, like introducing chaos, because when you add more chaos to something, more change is available. You're adding more energy, more changes available, rather than having like less energy, like there's less change, just like heat and cold in a sense, but it's different. It's not like that physical form, but it's totally tangible and totally pragmatic. And he's amazing at adding chaos to something to facilitate change with an incredible kindness and caring and space of question and possibility. And I love that. Wow, when you said that thing about the stadium, like all those people in a stadium, imagine we had stadiums of people where we had that. And in metaphysical, they talk a lot about intention and stuff, and this is not intention, because intention we tend to go in a particular direction.
Yeah, it's a bit more
about space and choice and possibilities, energy, space, possibilities. Imagine a whole stadium of people that were being like this incredible ask for something, like what that would generate. That's like so tangible. And we will have that.
And we will have that. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I know we could speak for hours, but you will speak for hour or be for hours. I don't know. So it's gonna be, so we mark your calendars. It's gonna be on the 27th of May. At the Castello di Casalbordone. We're gonna have a bit of logistics things to let you know. So
4 p.m. I'm pretty sure we'll begin. But check out, on the accessconsciousness.com website. If you look under my profile, the class will be there, or maxzoulek.com. The class is also there.
We're going to put the link in the comments, so all people can just sign in.
I want to add a quick note, because we have, the castle is full for Right Rich's certified facilitators training. I imagine quite a few of those people are going to come. If you're really keen on coming to this class, you're going to come, like register early, because when you registered and paid, like that confirms your place basically. If we only have, the castle isn't that big, like the conference room, so we have a limited amount of room. So please, if you are really keen, I'm not trying to make this like what is it when they what's it called when they scare
No, it's not.
like trying to sell the scarcity or something like
No,
that.
no,
Literally
no,
just
no.
a fact that we can only have so many people. So if you are really keen, please register. And yeah,
My gosh, we're gonna have the stadium energy and the VIP like poshness of the
elegance.
castle. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, all of it. Oh my gosh, yes. So thank you
Cool.
so much for this conversation,
Thank you.
and I'll see you at the castle.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yes,
Bye, everyone.
thank you. Bye.